If you're a Canadian dividend investor, you've probably come across these two ETFs, XEI and VDY. And at first glance, they almost look identical. They both invest in Canadian dividend paying companies, they both pay monthly income, and they both are extremely popular with Canadian investors. But when you actually open them up and you look inside, the differences really start to appear. And interestingly, one of these ETFs has actually outperformed the other over time. So in this video, we're going to walk through how these two ETFs actually work, what companies they hold, and what those differences might mean to investors. My name is Darren. I'm just a regular Canadian who used to think that it was too late to start investing, but I started anyway and have proven every day that it is never too late to build wealth. Let's start with a few quick facts. Both of these ETFs trade on the Toronto Stock Exchange, and they are priced in Canadian dollars, which makes them very easy for Canadian investors to buy. XEI's price sits around $35 a share with a 12-month yield around 3.99%, and its monthly distributions are about 11 cents per share with an inception date of April of 2011. VDY, on the other hand, is about $65 a share with a 12-month yield around 3.55% with a monthly distribution of 20 cents per share and an inception date of November of 2012. So both ETFs provide monthly income from Canadian dividend stocks, but the key difference actually starts with the indexes that each ETF follows. Both ETFs track a dividend index, but those indexes are built by different organizations. VDY tracks the FTSE Canadian High Dividend Yield Index. FTSE originally stood for Financial Times Stock Exchange because the index was created by the Financial Times newspaper and the London Stock Exchange. Today, FTSE builds stock market indexes all over the world, and this one focuses on Canadian companies with strong dividend yields. XEI tracks the S&P TSX Composite High Dividend Index. S&P stands for Standard & Poor's, a company known for creating some of the most widely used market indexes globally. And TSX refers to the Toronto Stock Exchange, Canada's main stock exchange. So the S&P TSX Composite Index tracks Canadian companies listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange. Because these indexes use different rules, the ETFs end up looking slightly different once you open them up. Both ETFs hold many of the same Canadian blue chip companies, names that you'll recognize like Royal Bank, TD Bank, Enbridge, Canadian Natural Resources, and Suncor, just to name a few. These are some of the largest dividend-paying companies in Canada, but the weightings inside the ETFs are very different. For example, in VDY, Royal Bank alone makes up 15% of the fund. Several of the other major banks also have very large allocations. That means that VDY has a much heavier concentration in Canadian banks. XEI, on the other hand, spreads things out more evenly. It holds around 75 companies compared to the 56 in VDY, and no single company dominates the portfolio to the same extent. So the structure of the portfolio already starts to look a lot different. When investors compare dividend ETFs, one of the first numbers that they look at is yield. And a simple way to understand yield is to think about it like a rental property. So imagine that you buy a house and you want to rent it out. You hope that the house will increase in value over time, but each month you also collect rent. And that rent is the income that the property produces. Well, dividends work very similarly. Companies pay cash to the shareholders, and the yield tells you how much income you're going to receive relative to the price that you paid. So if you invest $1,000 and you receive $40 a year in dividends, that's a 4% yield. Now, right now, these ETFs are fairly close. XEI yields about 3.99% and VDY yields about 3.55%. So both produce very similar level of income, but that still doesn't explain how the income actually shows up every month. Here's something that many investors don't realize. Both ETFs pay monthly distributions, but most of the companies inside of them do not pay monthly dividends. Most Canadian companies pay dividends quarterly. For example, Royal Bank, TD Bank, Enbridge, Canadian Natural Resources, these companies typically pay every 3 months. So the ETF collects those dividend payments as they come in and then distributes the income monthly to investors. Think of it like a reservoir collecting rainwater and releasing it on schedule. The ETF simply organizes those payments into a steady monthly income stream. Another important difference between these ETFs is sector exposure. XEI currently has roughly 33% in energy, 27% financials, 13% utilities, along with smaller allocations across other sectors. VDY, on the other hand, has a much heavier allocation to financials, particularly Canadian banks. That's why Royal Bank alone makes up more than 15% of the fund. So the portfolio structure looks very different. VDY leans more heavily into the Canadian largest dividend companies, especially banks, where XEI spreads exposure more evenly across those sectors. Now let's actually look at the performance. So over the past year, both ETFs have performed extremely well. VDY has returned roughly 36%, while XEI has returned roughly 32%. So VDY has a slight edge recently, but when we zoom out and we look at the performance since these ETFs launched, we actually see a very similar trend. VDY has slightly outperformed XEI over time. A big reason for that likely comes back to its heavier exposure to Canadian banks, which have historically been some of the strongest dividend-paying companies in the country. Since VDY gives those banks larger weightings, it tends to benefit more when those companies perform well. But the concentration also introduces something important, and that's sector risk. If Canadian banks go through a weaker period, VDI would likely feel the impact more strongly. XEI spreads its holdings across more companies and sectors, so it may not benefit as much when one sector dominates the market, but it can provide a bit more diversification. So both ETFs can work. It really just comes down to whether you prefer the heavier bank exposure of VDY or the broader diversification of XEI. But the bigger question is how ETFs like these actually fit into a full portfolio, and that's exactly what I break down in this video here.